Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. I welcome you all in our first session of academic discussions. I'm Ahmed Latif Nazari, your host for today's program. In this program, we will discuss child custody or legal guardianship. As we all know that biological parents make all decisions that are involved in rearing their child, such as residence, education, healthcare, and religious upbringing. Well, the question is, which parent has the right to make these decisions when a child's parents are separated? Let me remind you that each state has their own ruling and laws, and there are differences of opinion among scholars on this subject. A traditionalist view that exists among Afghan people, especially in the rural areas, is that only father is responsible for the child and the child shall live with his or her father. Some strongly condemn this view, saying that this is not only against the tenets of Sharia, but it also violates the rights of the child and the mothers. So for discussing these issues further, we have invited three prominent scholars from three distinctive countries who will enlighten us about this topic. Rashid Qutbzadeh is a prominent legal scholar of Afghanistan and Islamic thinker at the Supreme Court of Afghanistan. And also we have Sadaf Akbari, is a British legal scholar. She has also written a book on the issue of guardianship, which was published recently. And finally, we have Sharifa Akbari. Sharifa Akbari is a general legal scholar. She is also professor of family law in Goethe University and has written many articles on reform of German family law. So, my first question is referred to Dr. Rashid Qutbzadeh. Mr. Rashid, how is the child custody issue viewed in Muslim countries, especially in Afghanistan law?
Thank you, Dr. John, for your question. Generally, Afghanistan law is based on Islamic law, and there is a prominent hadith about child custody. This hadith is a story of a woman who comes and complains to the Prophet, peace be upon him. She says that I had a child whom I was feeding, and he was happy in my arms, and my husband divorced me, and now he wants to take the child away from me. So in this moment, the Prophet says that you have more right on the child than your husband. That sets the basis. So based on that, the Afghan Civil Code has been designed based on this hadith and also some other books of Islamic jurisprudence. And the law prefers the mother or a female relative, if the mother is not capable, to have a custody on the child.
Okay.
And then the law gives a lot of details on custody. First, it defines what custody means, which says custody is caring and nurturing of child during the period in which child needs care and nurture of woman. And then it goes on to the capacity of a woman to take custody, and then it mentions about other alternatives if the mother is not capable. In that case, the custody will go to the mother of the mother, mother of the father, sister, and so on.
Okay. My second question from you is the law on child custody widely practiced, or are there customary norms that are dominant?
Actually, as you said in your introduction as well, in Afghanistan, the rule of law is a huge challenge. In this, the civil law is not an exception to that. According to customary norms, mostly children are kept under custody of the father even if a separation has taken place.
Yeah.
So usually there is no respect for law in this issue, and the mother is deprived of the right to have custody on her child, unfortunately.
Okay, so it means that there is a contradiction between the Sharia law, what the government or positive laws of Afghanistan says, and there's an exact or clear contradiction between the traditionalist view and the Sharia, which our
Yes.
brother Qudamzadeh has referred to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And my another question is from Sadaf. What do you think? How are the cases of child custody addressed in a common law countries such as England, from which country you have came or experienced being in there?
Thank you for your question. Firstly, I would like to answer this by saying that the model guardianship that is being implemented and being practiced in many different common law countries, this has its roots in English common law. Basically, it was a legal system that was then transported to colonies. And whenever there's a case regarding to child custody or guardianship, they refer to a doctrine which is called parens patria, which means parents of the country or parents of the fatherhood. This allowed the courts to assume who the control of the child really belongs to, and also the court has the power to appoint the guardian of the minors as well as the children with the incapacities.
Okay. So just another quick question from you is, what if both parents refuses or reject the guardianship of their child? What would be
Yes,
the case?
this kind of cases, we have a lot of them in England, since these cases really appear when there are unmarried couples and when they reject to have it and because of their age. So there was an act or that was passed by the Parliament, Special Guardianship in 2002. This allows the other families, other than the family of the child itself, to adopt the child and become the legal guardians of the child. They can, even if they get the child, the child's guardianship, the parents can also have a say to their decisions. When a decision is being made, they can have a say as well, the parents itself.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Basir. We'll go to our third scholar, and my first question is that would you give us a brief information about child custody in Germany? Like I'm sure it would be different from the France or UK or here. So what would be the differences, or if you could give us a brief information in this regard?
Well, thank you for your question. The German guardianship law is a federal in support of German civil code. So the statutory basis for legal guardian is laid down in Article 1896 of German civil code. According to the German civil code, the parents have an obligation in a right of custody for their underage children, and they can have a joint right of custody, which is also known as parental responsibility. Under German civil law, the court makes most of the decision according to the child's best interest, and they make many efforts to guarantee the equal rights for both parents for joint custody. The application of guardianship law differs between married, unmarried, and divorced parents. For example, after parents are married, they both have joint and shared custody, and both mother and the father can enjoy the same exact right, the same rights. And the same applies if the parents were unmarried when the child was born, but later they married.
Okay.
But it's not the same case in unmarried parents, because so for unmarried parents, they need to sign a declaration, and this declaration can also be signed before the child is born, and it should be in front of a government and consular official.
Okay. My second question from you would be that which factors does the court consider while deciding the child custody cases? What would be like what factors that they would consider?
There are many factors, but the court consider two most important factors. The first is that is it in the interest of the child to enter shared custody of both parents? So if there's any chance that the parents can still cooperate as a parents, not as a spouse in the future, so the court may not wish to award custody to one of them. Instead, the court will apply a joint and shared custody for both parents. But in the second case, in the second case, the parents' custody is in the better interest of the child, so that it's most important for the court. That the court, when the court makes a decision about both parents, they will consider who is better suited to take care of the child, who has been doing this in the past, and who has more time, and how is the annual income of both parents, and who is more cooperative in regarding visitation, contact, and information to the other parent.
Okay, that was quite really interesting one. One last quick question from you, like, does the court appoint a guardian other than the biological parents?
Yes, if the parents are unable or unwilling to exercise parental responsibilities, a guardian will be appointed, but the person who is appointed as a guardian, he or she must be qualified, and his petition should be accepted, and should pass some legal processes. And other than family members, the volunteer guardians, the professional guardians, the public guardians can also.
Okay, now coming back to Mr. Rashid Otabzadeh, what do you think is the common or contradictory point between these issues or points that you guys have discussed, like in a country where religion is more dominant rather than a state which is a secular state? Like, what would be the common point or contradictory points, if you could elaborate on
that? Of course, there is all the rules are given, it's codified, but in cases of ambiguity, the Afghan law would recommend or would focus more on the interest of the child. That's one thing which is quite common with the German principles. And also one thing I want to distinguish is that in Afghan law there is a difference between the custody and also the financial responsibility. So even if the mother takes the custody of the child, the father would still be responsible to pay for the alimony. Those are the 2 points I wanted to make.
Okay, I will pose the same question from you guys. What is the common or contradictory point?
Yes, the contradictory point I found out in the Islamic law versus the common law was that the priority of the guardianship of the child was given to the mother.
Mm-hmm.
But in a common law country, especially in England, when the parents got divorced, the child comes into the authority of the local authority. It's the responsibility of the state. And then the judge itself arranges a direction hearing. The judge himself hears from both sides, from both parents, and then decides who's eligible to take the child. And the similarity I found out in the Islamic law and common law was that the interest of the child was the main thing that should be considered by deciding.
Okay. So Ms. Sharifa, do you want to add something to his point?
The contradictory?
Yeah.
Well, the contradictory point that I want to mention is that in German civil code specifically, so there is a more focus that there should be a joint and shared custody, and there should be an equal rights to both parents if they are capable. And common points is that there's a focus on the interest of the child, which is also the same in Islamic law.
Okay. Dear viewers, we have come to the end of our today's discussion. I thank you all for coming here and sharing your understanding and knowledge with our viewers. Thank you.
Thank you also.